Hi, in today's Teen Crafternoon, I'm going to show you how to make this wood transfer art. The supplies you need for doing wood transfer art is really easy. You need a piece of wood, Mod Podge, scissors, a paintbrush, and an image that has been printed on a laser printer. You do need to print this in reverse, because you are basically going to be putting this on upside down. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out your image. So I'm going to do this chamomile flower, so I'm actually going to start by trimming it out. So my wood is roughly 8 by 8 inches. I made it a little bigger than that because I can trim off extra at the end. So I'm not worrying about being perfect. Like I said, I know I have overhang, so I'm not real worried about it. So I could do this more precisely with a paper cutter, but I have scissors. Okay. So now that I've gotten it trimmed out, I'm going to make sure that I have it positioned correctly. So there is, on this piece of wood, it does have a top. So you can see I have a hanging bracket, so I want this to be the top of my thing. So I'm going to place it down like this. So next step is basically just to apply Mod Podge. So this is kind of old Mod Podge, but you're basically just going to glue the heck out of it. So I want a nice even coat of it. You want this pretty saturated, because this is what the ink is actually going to end up sticking to. So you have to use a laser jet printer. You cannot use an inkjet printer. So, but fortunately, our library only has laser printers. So it's very easy to do this project. These make great presents for Mother's Day, or you can do this on pieces of wood that are cut into ornament blanks and make really cute Christmas ornaments. So, getting a nice thick coat on here. I don't think you can have too much. So it is very okay to be very generous. Okay, it's nice and wet. Lots and lots of glue. Alright. Now that I have all the glue on, I'm going to go ahead and try to center my image up as much as I can. And then I'm going to rub down on it. I want this to be as on there as I possibly can get. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use my work badge, or you can use a credit card or some kind of brayer, and I'm going to scrape. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to rip the image, but this will also get rid of any bubbles that you might have had. So, make sure it's really on there. Alright, and now I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours. So I will come and grab it tomorrow and take care of the next step. So now that this has had a chance to sit overnight, we're going to go ahead and remove the paper and hopefully leave behind the ink. So the easiest way to do it is to start saturating the paper. So I'm just using a sponge and I'm getting it wet. And what I'm going to do is start slowly pulling away the paper. See that it starts coming off in bits and parts. I have found that this works better with a sponge. So we just keep working and all the paper should come off eventually. You don't want to scrub too hard because you will lose the ink, and that kind of defeats the purpose of this. You can also just dip this in a bucket of water. I don't have that, so I'm just using a small bucket to keep putting my sponge in so I can get water. This is messy, so you're going to want to be able to have lots of paper towels and stuff to clean up. So the pulp just comes off, so this is just the paper. What you're leaving behind is the ink. Remember that you have to use an ink, or you cannot use an inkjet, you have to use a laser printer. Mod Podge recommends you use the photo transfer Mod Podge. I have found that any Mod Podge works just fine. This is just the outdoor one. So you can see where I scrubbed a little too hard, and I've lost a bit of the ink, but that's okay. It just makes it look more distressed. What you can do too is go ahead and take a piece of sandpaper on the edges as well and distress it more. It's kind of a stylized thing. The cool thing is you can still see the wood grain underneath, so it does look really cool. So I'm going to go in and find all the places that it's white. Just trying to get as much paper off as I possibly can. I did this the first time with a paper towel and found that it went horribly, so make sure you use a sponge or a washcloth to do it. Sometimes when it dries, you'll see spots that you've missed, and then you can just go back in and clean them up. I think that came out rather pretty. Thanks for watching. If you like this, you can find more events like this at fountaindale.org/events. And if you want to share your project with us on social media, you can use #FountaindaleLib. Thanks for watching.